how do you create an irresistible offer? So how do you create an offer when people see that they can only say one thing, yes or yes? How is it possible? What are the steps that you need to go through to make sure that you do it? The life of your business depend on it, right? Depend on the facts of the ability that you have being able to make that sales, to make an offer to somebody and for that person to say, yes, I want what you want, and here is the money that I'm happy to give to you. So how do you make it happen? I want to have this conversation with you today because I suspect many of you will have this issue. And that's an issue as us as a business. We've met before and we actually meet on a constant basis. And what I simply want to do is to share with you some of the steps that I go through with my company, with the people we're working with, to create an irresistible offer in order for them to be able to sell more. So that's the topic of today. So welcome everybody. So my name is Tony Chiu. I'm the founder here of Renewable in Africa, and we are your global clean energy champion. Our job is very simple, is to make sure that we demystify the renewable energy sector for you so that it makes it easy and seamless for you to connect. Whether you come from an investor perspective, you want to have the information you need for you to make more informed decision, we can help you. Whether you come from a business perspective, you're running a business, or maybe you're a top executive at a business, a manager, you want to have this information, we definitely can give you the information that could be useful to you. You simply have to watch or look at all the videos that we've done so far, and you tell me whether or not they make sense for you. Or whether you are a professional, you're saying that I want to jump into the sector, but how can I do it? Tony is here, Renewables in Africa is here to make sure that you have this information. And more specifically, on a Friday, what I like to do is to talk about the business of running a renewable energy business. Because for me, it's very simple. For us to grow the sector, we need to make sure that we have as many companies out there that are successful as possible. Because this is how you're going to attract people into the sector. You're going to get people to come and want to work in the sector and not run away, right? That is the whole purpose. Today, I want to talk about the issue of designing an irresistible offer. But before I do that, there's three things I want to ask you to do, if you don't mind, right? So the first thing will be to connect with us on all our platforms, because because I know you've been following us very well, that we're actually broadcasting from 5 platforms, right? So I have LinkedIn, I have YouTube, I have Facebook, I have Twitter, and I have Telegram, right? So whichever one works for you, I want you to connect. Ideally, I like you to connect to all of them. So this way, whenever there is a video, wherever you are, you have more chance. You have 5 chances to make sure that you can actually connect and be here with us and engage. So the second thing is simply to engage, as I say, right? So leave a comment. So either when we have in the live right now or later. So it's still okay. We're still going to make sure that we respond to your question. We tend to respond to all the people that actually write to us, right? I'm sure you've seen that already, people that have done it, yeah? And we do the best that we can to give you an answer to the question. It may not be the answer you're looking for or you're expecting, at least we give you an answer, yeah? Tell us as well, what is that you think? So what is that you want us to do? Remember, on a Friday, we're talking about the business of running a renewable energy business. That's what we specialize in. The other 2 slots that we have on Wednesday and Sunday, we're talking about different other topics into the industry, right? Into the sector. But on Friday, it's all about how to run a renewable energy business. And as you can see, right, so Black Friday, it is today. And I know you've been inundated by emails and requests, right? So we're all going through that. You can't escape it. That's the way things going. That's the world we're living in. And you need to make sure that you're in tune with that. So the third thing that I want you to do is simply to share this message that we're going to have to share with you, right? I just wanted to share the message, share that with people that you believe may be interested and not here today, maybe because they're working, they have some other priorities, but they'd be very happy to listen to what we are discussing today, right? So that's very good. And let me tell you, that's the easiest way for you to participate into the sector and to make sure that you spread the word. That's the easiest way. You just click it. It takes what? A couple of seconds, and there you go. You already have something that you're sharing, and you're going to bring more and more people into the sector. So that's what you can do. Can I ask you to do that, please? Please take a couple of seconds right now as you're watching for me to do that. I'm hoping that by the time I go back and I look at the the replay, I would have seen lots of you clicked on the post, on the repost, right? If it's not the case, then I know that I'm talking to myself. But hopefully not, because I know some people are following me. I can see them watching me. I can see you. I can see you. What are you doing? That's great. So feel free also to ask questions. Yeah. So I like to take questions when they are. So now let me come back into the topic. But before I say that, so one thing that I have on a regular basis, so because you know that I've been running the business for 6 years now, and then as Renewables in Africa, we are, virtual media platform. We're working with businesses to help them to improve their visibility, to get the leads that they want, and to make the sales. So, and what happened is we participate into many conferences, on a yearly basis, in many other events, right? And what is quite cool and great is people now start to recognize us, and they would approach us, right? And I know that over the last few months, I have been going to some conferences, and I've met with a number of suppliers, so especially supplier of solar panels, but also batteries. Especially the solar panels, they tend to have that kind of same problem, right? Which is that they are, all the top. I'm not going to mention them here, but you know them, right? We talked about the top manufacturer, the top 10 here, right? And a lot of them, they have products that are similar. They're a little different, but they can't similar, right? And because they're similar, they all have the same price bracket, and they want to know how can we differentiate ourselves to the other competitors, because we don't want to only sell on price, which is what we're doing right now. But with the price, there's only so much you can do until you become, not profitable, right? So you can't just you cannot drive it to the bottom just on pricing. So how can you do it? So it always comes down to the issue of how do I create an irresistible offer? What are the steps that go through that, right? This is what we want to talk to you about, right? So let me know as well, if you happen to run a business, if you happen to be in the sector, how do you create your offer? Is there a way you do it? Or would you simply design something, that you believe is helpful for the industry, and just you put it on the market and that's it? So how do you attract people? How do you create this desire for people to say, I want this one. I want that product. I don't want the other one. Because most of us, right? Most of us, we will have always one or two other competitors, right? So that's how the industry is. It's very rare that we're gonna be the only one doing whatever we're doing, right? So there's always somebody that looks a little bit like you. Even us as Renewables in Africa, we know our competitors. I'm not gonna tell you, but we know our competitors, right? And we know how to make ourselves different from them. So how are you doing? How do you create your offer? How do you make sure that the customer want to work with you? He wants your product, not the other one. And how do you make sure also that the pricing that you're giving, he find it good? Because most of the time, I tell you, when people say, "Oh, it's too expensive, I can't do that," it's simply because they haven't found enough value into it. Because I promise you, if it's really solving one of their problem, and if they see the value there, they find a way to get the money. But I'm already sort of getting ahead of myself, right? So I'm sure you could see that. But let me step back a little bit. So what are the 5 steps? I want to give you 5 steps that I believe are interesting for you when you actually designing your irresistible offer. And actually this is something that I apply to my own company, with my team. We go to that. So I'm just sharing that with you, if that could be of help, right? So the very first step that we want to do, I like you to be sure, is that you need, I would say, to that's the first thing. You need to meet your customer where they are. That's very important. Okay, and build a confidence. So when I say you need to, the first one, meet the customer where it is, I'm not talking about physically. Obviously, if you can go physically where the customer is, that's fine. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that you need to create that rapport, first of all, right? So you need to properly understand what is their issue. What is that really they have as a problem? So first of all, recognize and make sure you understand it, so that when you create the initial conversation with the customer, he needs to feel and sees that you understand him. So usually I see a lot of people, they come and say, "Hey, I get a lot of email like that. So I'm selling this lithium battery that is a cost, bang." You have no idea basically whether I need it or not. You have no idea what I'm looking for. So obviously the chances of such an email to succeed is very small. Obviously, there will be some success because it's just a matter of statistics. It's always a matter of statistics. If you're selling millions email like that, obviously you're gonna make, I don't know, 10, 20. I don't know what it is. It depends what the company is. But I'm saying that the sales ratio is going to be very, very, very small. So you need to create that rapport. Make sure that number one, you understand what is the issue, the challenge of your customer. This is what I'm saying. Meet the customer where they are so that you can build that confidence. It is very, very important for them. Yeah. So that they can see and feel that, okay, they understand me. They know that in here, I'm talking about building, right? Uh, a solar rooftop, and I'm talking about making sure that I have a panel that meets certain criteria, certain spec, because I know that if I have this panel, it becomes a lot easier for me to attract the investor that I need, because investors be telling me, for example, he wants tier one panels, and he wants tier one panel of a certain aspect very specifically. Why? Because this or that condition. You need to understand that. Make sure you understand. Don't just say, hey, that's my price. So you want to understand, collect as much information as possible. Yeah, that's the first step for me. Okay. You also want to show, that's the number two, right? You also want to show to your customer that you let them see where exactly they can start and what is next for them. Yeah. So this is the thing. So they need to show them what is the roadmap, right? Should they consider go with you? Okay, where exactly do I want to start in my offer? If I give you my offer, what is the next step really? So how things gonna happen. So what is actually the flow that will happen? Does it mean that, for example, if I need to send you my panels, okay, you describe to what your solar panel will be doing. I find it interesting, but here it is. If you are considering buying our panels, first of all, we may want you to fill up, I don't know, this form where you give us information about the product. When is that? What's the quantity of the product that you want? When do you want it exactly? So how do you want it? What is the layout of the design? All these kind of information. And once we've done it, okay, next, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna do what? So there needs to be something that is clear like that, so that I can see exactly what's coming and I know where I'm starting and where I finish, right? It has to be clear cut. Because some of us, as I'll say, so people just say, okay, you come and buy my product, you pay here, and then we deliver to you. Okay, that's fine. We deliver to you, that's great, but everybody will say we deliver to you. So what are the steps? Because I want to see, how do you implement it? How do you go about definitely making sure that you bring to me the product, the service that I have purchased? Yeah. So what is the flow of action? So your offer should be giving an idea. I understand, I appreciate that for some category or for some places. So I mean, sometimes you may have, I don't know, flows that are a little too long. No problem, and you clearly can't have all of it in your offer. Well, you can have some, first of all, appendices, right, where you have additional information, just in case the customer want to know a little more. Or you can at least have a brief description, what is the sequence of things. So that needs to be present. Yeah. So that's the second thing that I see for me is very important. After you've built the rapport, so you make sure that you meet the customer where they are, not just physically. Yeah, physically, if possible, we don't need physically necessarily, where they are. So what is the issue? Find out, understand what is their situation, their particular situation. People like it. Yeah. So the third thing, so you want to make sure that as well. So your offer will overcome their objections. Let me tell you one thing, and I don't know whether, I don't think we talked about it already. We may have a session where we have a brief understanding of the sales process. I think I've done something like that, but yeah, and that's what I had to understand initially, especially me coming from an engineering background, right? And I had to learn this thing. It's a whole way of processing things. Yeah, when you starting a business, you're doing sales and all that. So, but you understand, yeah, you come to understand, whether you like it or not, that you will not make sales, you will not have business if you don't handle objections. out of 10 sales that we'll be making, you will have to handle objection 9 out of 10. Yeah. So, because I think we all wish to have that easy sell that we're just going to say a couple of words and people are buying. Most of the time, this is not the case. You got to make sure that you handle objections. And the best way to handle objections, first of all, it's already when you're doing your presentation for the offer. Yeah. So if you haven't done it, if you've done it well, so ideally you should have almost no objection because your presentation would have handled it already. So people will know that, okay, by with what he told me before, I understand that, okay, it responds to all managers. So basically, you would have handled already their objection, and that would be already all sorted. Yeah. So that's the third step that you want to do. So that's the process for that. So the fourth step, it's for you to give to your customer what they want. Yeah, they say they want because people always say, okay, I want this, I want that. That's fine, that's great. But don't stop there, right? Because you are the professional here. So you are the specialist. Yeah, you know your area and you know already because you could almost see, because you've done it many times before, you can almost see the pattern. So you see how people will react when they have such a piece of information. If they have a certain product, if they receive a certain service. So give them what they want, but also what they need. That's what I was getting at. People forget what they need. You only think about what they want, right? As soon as they get what they want, sometimes they may be disappointed and they find out, okay, I needed something else. So you as a specialist, because you want to show exactly that you know what you're talking about and you already can anticipate how the person is going to react. So I'm able to give you not only what you want, but also what you need, because I know when I provide that to you, you're going to be happy. You're going to be satisfied. And I'm having a satisfied customer. And with a satisfied customer, I know that number one, I can sell more. Number two, I can have more referrals. Very important. So don't forget the what you need part. Yeah. This is something that is very, 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 very important. For example, same thing, selling you panels. Yeah. So you're asking for a certain number of panels, certain spec. I give you the panels. That's okay for the project. But most likely, I'm gonna get you to understand that you want to have some spare parts. Yeah. You want the panels, but maybe you may not aware that you need some spare parts, certain quantity of spare parts. Why? Because if you have the exact number, you got, I think all of you can guess. Anything can happen during the constructions, right? There could be some accident here, or one panel doesn't work, breaks down a little bit. It happened many times, right? So, and even over the course of the project that you are building and start operating, so it's not excluded that we get early defect for maybe one or two panels. It's rare, but it does happen. So that means when I sell you the panel, I know that I need to make sure that you understand that I'm gonna sell you the quantity that you need, but also gonna make sure that you have a level of spare parts, because I know that you will have it. That's a responsible act for me to do. And if I do that, I know I have served you. I have served you. You're gonna be a happy customer. So that is important as a step for you to do. Yeah, that's fine. And that was actually the point number 4. So the point number 5, yeah, it's for you to create a value and a price. It's hard to say no to. Yeah, that's what you want. It has to be a no-brainer. It's no-brainer. And in fact, what happened is that's a connection with what we're having today. That's why you see a lot with Black Fridays. I think they there's there's so many great offers there, and usually we have stack offers, where you have one main product service that you want, but a lot of bonuses that you're getting, or maybe additional services. If you get this, you get that. You can buy maybe for $9.99, but if you are prepared to, I don't know, to add an additional top up here, right? So we can make it to you. Normally, if you pay them separately, the two will give you the, I don't know, 20 quid, 19.99. But if you take the two together instead of 9.99, you pay what? You pay 12.99, something like that. And when you look at that, you do the math yourself very quickly. You realize that, okay, that's a no-brainer. And you also realize, although I've come today to buy this particular product, I know very soon I'm gonna have to buy the other one. For example, if I keep the example of the panels, right? I'm buying the panels. So one thing I know for sure is I install the panels. I need to think about cleaning the panels. Let's imagine I want to do all that myself. And when we clean that, you can do that with simple water, but sometimes you can have some special, product that will do that, cleaning product that will do that. So if imagine the guy send me the panel, say, by the way, you send the panel, here you are, no problem. But we have a special offer. If you added the cleaning product that we have right here, it's just gonna add you just a small bit. It's just adding, I don't know, 1 or 2% on top of that, and you have something which would have cost you a lot more. You pay that separately, and it's not like it will never happen. You will have to do it. You know that, right? So you can't have panels, not clean them, not look after them, and expect that they're gonna deliver for you on a yearly basis exactly the same performances. That's not true. Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that you want to make sure that when you create an offer, you really add this value, and you really get a price. It's hard to say no to. The person will look at it and say, "Okay, oh, that's so good to be that's so good. I just can't say no." You want to even give them a price so that they even find it. How can I say that? No need to go and look and check for the competitive price, because maybe most likely when they come to you, they will have an idea of what the market sells things at. They will also maybe have an idea of what your competitors are selling things at. So that when they see what you're offering, say, it's a no-brainer, it's great, I'm just going to go for that. So this is what you want to create. So that's what I call, you want to create an irresistible offer. Yeah. So that's what you create value at a price hard to say no. So I've talked about so far those 5 steps. So you meet the customer where they are to build their confidence. So you let them see where to start, what's next. So you want to make sure that you have a flow or sequence of actions that they understand, they can see, so they know exactly how things are going to happen, and they feel comfortable. Yeah. And they feel in confidence. You overcome the objections. So that's the third thing that I said, because without handling objections, so you won't be making sales, in fact, in your life. Yeah. It's all about objections, overcoming objections. And guess what? Your sales may not be even monetary value. Could be something else, right? Because that's it. Even within the family we're setting, when your son, your daughter come and talk to you, they want something and they start banging the door, or throwing some tantrums. Yeah, that's a sell. That's a technique. So overcome the objection. That's the third thing. So the fourth, as I mentioned, it's about give them what they want, but also what they need, because you know that without the need part, it may jeopardize the want part, right? And because you are a professional, you're a specialist, you can already anticipate what's going to happen. You want to give them what they want, what they need, and hopefully you can also explain that to them, right? And you want to create value around what you're selling and provide a price hard to say no to. When they see that there's only one thing they can say, either yes or yes. This is what you want them to do, right? So that is what I would say. Those are the 4 steps that you need to create an irresistible offer. But let me add the 6th one, a bonus. Yeah, I'm giving you value here. A 6th one, it's for you to be a bridge builder. Yeah, has to be a bridge builder. So basically between where they at, where they want to go, and they understand that basically the path moving forward is through you. You're providing that bridge. And when they understand that, okay, that's fine. Oh, let's say for example, there are some people I know that are telling me, okay, we're not doing great in terms of visibility of our product. We're not doing great in terms of our sales. What we're saying to them, Renewables in Africa, especially with an awareness program, come to us. Come to us, because we can show you what we've done, not only first of all for us, but for all the company, to help them figure out how can you make sure that you become visible to your customer, for you to collect the lead and for you to make the sales. And this is what I'm saying. That's the reason we want to have, those live with you on a regular basis. To say that we know and we want to show you how to do it. And I'm hoping that you trust us enough, to at least be willing to drop us a call. And that's actually what I'm saying to you right now. If you're interested, want to talk about that, give us a shout. Send me a message just down there or GM us. So, and we definitely will respond to you. I think there's nothing wrong with having a conversation. You have a conversation and you see whether what we have to give you is interesting or not. And hey, it's Black Friday. Obviously, if you do that today, we also going to make sure that we give you something quite interesting, isn't it? Right? Everybody is throwing some nice nice discount there. Hey, we're willing to have that also with you. Like I say, if you experience that challenge, you're saying that I know that with the recessions, it's getting tough. I want to see how I can move forward, but I'm struggling a little bit. Come with us, and we can definitely show you how you could actually do it. Yeah, because it could be the recession, but let me show you one thing. Right after the step that I've seen you, I want to show you few companies to encourage you a little bit, to say that it may be the recessions or a recession may be coming, but I think it's still possible for you to do great things. Let me see how I can show that quickly. Okay, where do I have this? Yep, that's it. Okay, first of all, let me completely share the different step that I have, which is what I talked about. Meet them where they are, let them see exactly where to start, what's next, overcome the objection, give them what they want and they need, create value for them, and the price to say has to be a bridge builder. And I want to talk about these companies. So these companies started during recessions, and those are big names of today. I'm sure you would have recognized many of them, if not all of them. They started during a recession, so there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do that. It's just to say that don't think that because we think about recession, everybody's just going to go down. So you can definitely manage to keep afloat, stay afloat. But it all starts, right? It all starts for me by realizing that, hey guys, you got to make sure that people know who you are. People know that you are around. Yeah, because like I say, usually do business with company that you know. If you don't know company, you won't go you won't go to them. Like I usually say, I think I borrowed that for one of my mentor. If they don't know you, they don't flow you. So we're here at Renewables in Africa to make sure that they do know you, so that you can get the leads, you can get the sales that you want. So I like to talk to you a lot more about our awareness program, and I'm hoping that if you're watching me, you're going to be taking advantage of this fantastic opportunity and offer that I want to make for you for Black Friday. So drop us an email, and I'll tell you what is all about. 2023 is coming. I want you to have a head start. Yeah, a conversation, it doesn't hurt. That's great, and I'm hoping that you manage to understand what are the 5 steps that I needed to create the business. Yeah, let me just share that again for you quickly before we wrap up, and so that you can take a screen grab if that's of interest to you. Yeah, they're there. So let me just go. I said, yeah, meet them where they are, build confidence, let them see where to start, what's next, overcome the objection, give them what they want and need, create value, and I've added a 6-1, which is be a bridge builder. So hopefully you have all of them there. You can take a screen grab. Anyway, you can watch you can always watch the replay, and then hopefully you will have learned for that. Let me just stop here, because normally we just make sure that we keep it for 30 minutes more. I don't think there's any question. There's any question, I will respond to that. I can't see any questions. I just want to say, if you happen to watch us, hey, we're very happy to see you. Delighted. Hoping you learn a couple of things. I'm hoping that you're going to use that to go and make your irresistible offer. Don't just be a consumer getting all those offers. Get also your offer out there. Yeah, and start making sense of all of it and start collecting the money, right? So I'm Tony to you from Renewables in Africa. Your clean energy, your global clean energy champions, and I'm hoping that you've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to meet you on Friday, we're going to be talking to another obviously outstanding company who is exactly doing some of the things that we were talking about today. Definitely you know them and definitely you flow them. Guys, it was a pleasure to meet with you, and I'm looking forward to talk to you some other time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. May the sun be with you.